Hi there, I'm Jen Long, Creative Director at Sizzix, and I'm here at Scrapbook.com to share some of our new clear stamps. Now, a lot of stamps on the market handle those generic celebrations like happy birthday and thank you, but what we wanted to put together for this release were really specific holiday-themed stamps. So we have some celebrational stamps for Mother's Day, for Father's Day, St. Patrick's Day, the 4th of July, all the kind of holidays that sometimes get left behind or forgotten about in your crafting supplies. So we're gonna go ahead and do a project right now and show you how those look. All these stamps that you see here were all hand-drawn designed by our in-house artists at Sizzix. And the first thing I want to do is kind of build up a base to stamp on top of. So I have this watercolor paper, so it has a lot of thickness and tooth to it. And I'm going to take some distress ink and I'm just going to create a background for myself to stamp on top of. So I'm going to take some blue distress ink, I'm just going to whirl it around here, and I'm just going to go from the bottom to the top and just kind of loosely apply a little bit of pigment there. Since my paper is already white, all I have to do is apply some red and some blue, and I already have my patriotic American colors on here, but of course you could do this with any kind of color palette. Now let's pick up our red. And this ink does really give you a nice kind of watercolor wash background to work off of, and it's really impactful when you use stamps with some embossing powder like we're gonna do. So now that we have our background kind of set up, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use some Versamark, and I'm gonna pick out the stamps that I want to use first. So I'd like to use these 4th of July themed stamps, and I'm gonna pick these fireworks for starters. And I'm gonna stamp just an all over firework pattern just all along the bottom half of my card. So I'm using Versamark, and that's gonna help me use embossing powder after we've applied the ink to our card base. So I'm just gonna kind of stamp one there. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna apply a little bit more. And then I'm gonna turn it so it's kind of the opposite way and just stamp that there. Now what I wanna do is I wanna get my 4th of July phrase. So I have Happy 4th of July. This is very cute because July is written like a little banner. There's fireworks going off behind the 4th, and that's gonna help match your fireworks that you put along the bottom. Now this is a great stamp block because it does have our gridded pattern here so you can line things up, but you can see that I'm just a little bit short for the stamp I need. If you guys are in a pinch and your stamp block is too short, a cutting pad or a mini cutting pad will double great as a stamp block. That's a little DIY tip from me to you. So I'm going to put this stamp on our cutting pad and I'm going to ink it up. Now I'm going to lay this right in the center. Go ahead and push down here. Now since we use Versamark, we do want to use our embossing powder, and now is where we kind of get to see some of the magic happen. So I'm going to sprinkle this all over my page, since that's pretty much where I stamped was everywhere, wasn't it? And I'm just going to spread it out, shake it up a little bit. And now I'm just going to pour my excess right off my page right back into my bottle. Now that we've tapped off most of our excess embossing powder, I'm going to go ahead and grab my heat tool. When we're looking at this embossing powder now, we can see it still looks quite sandy. And as soon as we start the heat tool on top of it, you can magically see the embossing powder kind of transform into a really nice, smooth, shiny gold. Okay, so now we have all of that embossed with our metallic gold. There's just one last step that I want to add, and I'm going to take the stamp here, and I'm actually just going to use a portion of it. I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to use my Sizzix black ink, and I'm just going to stamp it on this piece of Sizzix white cardstock. Just going to stamp that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually trim around this because I just want that little flag piece to actually have as a corner embellishment on my card. So I'm going to trim right around that flag, and then I'm just going to take a couple colored pencils and color it in. And that's going to give me a nice little three-dimensional element to use pop dots with right in the top left corner of my card. And this is just a little quick and easy color in, just color in the lines here with my colored pencils. And then after we color it, you kind of end up with this. So I'm going to take a pop dot and I'm just going to adhere that right to the top left corner. And then I'm also going to take pop dots and I'm just going to put one in every corner of this card just so the whole front of it stands up off the base. For my card base, I've just taken a piece of paper and folded it in half to make an A2 card. That's what's also great about these stamps. Most of them are sized to be a perfect card front for any kind of A2 card base. And then for a finishing touch, I'm just going to take these glossy dots and I'm just going to stick them on right in the middle of where my fireworks all erupt on my stamp. And that just helps, again, add to the more three-dimensional quality to your project. And that kind of finishes up our 4th of July project. There's not too many other card giving holidays in the month of July, so what a great gift to give your friends and family to celebrate Independence Day. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message. Happy crafting!